Hello and welcome to Living Well, your show for information and inspiration to improve your health and wellness. My name is Karen Fabian and I am your host, and thank you so much for watching. We have a fun and interesting show planned for you today. In our first segment, our Healthy ABC segment, we're going to be talking about teaching children yoga. Children's yoga is a great way for kids to express themselves and do something healthy, and we're going to actually bring some kids out here to show you how it's done. This should be a fun segment. We're then going to move into our Strike a Pose segment, where we will meet Paula Harvey. Paula is an experienced yoga teacher, and she's worked with hundreds of beginners over the years. And we're going to be focusing on starting a yoga practice, especially now that it's getting a little colder outside. You might be thinking about bringing your exercise indoors, and yoga is a great way to stay healthy. So if you're thinking about starting a yoga practice, this segment is for you. In our Techno Wellness segment, we will meet Nick Doherty. Nick is the co-founder of a really interesting company called Verbal Care, and it's an app that helps people communicate if they can't speak due to illness or injury. If you're watching our show on the Boston Neighborhood Network, thank you so much for watching. After every show, I post it on my YouTube channel, Bare Bones Yoga, so you can watch it anytime, anywhere. And please, if you enjoy it, share it with friends and family. I'd like to thank the show's major sponsor, Yoga Reaches Out. Yoga Reaches Out is a wonderful nonprofit that raises money for children's charities through yoga events that are held around the country. And I'd also like to thank my friends at Zumiez Coffee, 221 Main Street in Charlestown, for being another sponsor of the show. For our Healthy ABC segment, we're going to be talking about children's yoga, and we're going to actually do some yoga with kids. Yoga is a great way for kids to do something healthy, and yoga has wonderful benefits for kids. It helps them increase their focus, it helps them stay stretched as well as strengthened, it helps them concentrate and develop awareness of their body. So let's get right down to it. Kids, why don't you come up onto your feet? So let's see, I wonder, first of all, let me see, which friends do I have here? I have, what's your name? Daya, right? And I have, what's your name? Lila. And what's your name? Jack. And what's your name? Ava. And what's my friend's name up here? This is Tommy. Okay. And moms, I have Chris and Samantha. And what's your name? Judy. Okay, well, thanks so much for coming on the show. So I think for our viewers, we will say that this is the first time we've met and we've never done any yoga before, so we're going to see what can happen, okay? So let's see. Why don't you guys come a little closer to me? I'm going to show you some pictures, and we're going to see if we can use some ways to shape our bodies just like this. So let's see. How do you think we could pretend to be like a butterfly? Yeah, let's use our wings. If you're happy and you know it, be a butterfly. If you're happy and you know it, be a butterfly. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, be a butterfly. All right, let's see what's next. Let's see. What's this?
A monkey.
A monkey. How do you think we could pretend to be like a monkey? If you're happy and you know it, be a monkey. If you're happy and hey, I think you guys are doing down dog. Do you want to be like a dog? All right, let's do it. Let's come onto our hands and our knees. Good, ready? And on the count of 3, we're going to go upside down. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Upside down. Upside down. Good job. Good job. Now, what sound does the dog make? All right. Awesome, awesome. All right, let's see if we can do another one. Let's look in here. What's this? What is this? Oh, it's bigger than a cat. What's bigger than a cat? A lion. Let's put our paw, ready? Let's take our paws. Let's put our paws on the ground. Let's put our other paws down. Now, what sound does the lion make?
Wow.
Okay, ready? Let's take a big breath in. Roar. Louder. Big breath in. Roar. One more time. Let me see your paws. Big breath in. Roar. Okay, excellent. Let's see if we can do one more. I'm going to give you a hint. What is green and hops up and down? Not a dog. What is green and hops up and down? A frog. Okay, ready? Let's see if we can shape our bodies like a frog. If we sit really low, on the count of 3, ready? 1, 2, 3, up. Good. Let's do it again. 1. Try this with me, sweet pea. 1, 2, 3, up. Good job. Okay, let's come up onto our feet. Excellent. All right, let's see. I wonder if I'm the yogi, if you can do a couple different things with me. Let's see. Let's come over to here. Yogi says reach up high. Good. Yogi says reach out wide. Yogi says touch your nose. Yogi says touch your toes. Touch the sky really high. Good job. Let's see if we can be like a tree. Yogi says be like a tree. Now let's see if we can count to 5. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice job. Let's see. Can you reach out wide? Can you tip to the side? Good job. Let's count to 5. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Now let's see. What if we take our arms out wide and we take our one leg behind? Now can we fly? Let's try. Ready? 5 counts. 1. Good job. 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job. Let's come to our seats. Let's come to our seats. Let's hold on to our feet. Good. Now if we move our legs up and down, do you think that we can pretend to be like a butterfly? Where's your antenna? Let's see. Good job. Good job. Really, really good job. Okay, let's come back up onto our feet. Let's see if we can stand like a mountain. Ready? Let's bring our feet all the way together. Let's bring our hands to our heart. Now we're going to take a deep breath in. Go. And a big breath out. Now we're going to breathe like a snake. Ready? Big breath in. Snake breath out. Now let's reach up high. Let's reach out wide. Let's bring our hands to our heart. And let's see if we can stand very, very still. Very, very still. 1, 2, 3. Good job, everybody. Nice job. Nice job. Let's do high fives. Ready? Good job. All right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So thank you so much. This was a fun segment, and thanks to the moms for bringing the kids out here. Stay tuned. We're going to move into our next segment, Strike a Pose.
Congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now.
Well, have you tried saving?
Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Hi, and welcome back. In our Strike a Pose segment, today we're going to be focusing on yoga for beginners. I'd like to introduce you to Paula Harvey. Paula is a certified Baptiste yoga teacher who has been teaching for many years, and over the years she's taught countless beginners. And sometimes it can be scary to think about starting yoga for the first time. So we're going to talk today about how to get started with a yoga practice. Welcome to the show, Paula.
Hi, thank you.
Sometimes I think that for someone who's never begun a yoga practice, it can be helpful to hear from someone who has been practicing for a while in terms of how they got started with yoga. Can you share a little bit about that?
Sure. I started yoga probably about 17 years ago, and it's been a long time. And I basically just was interested in it. I was looking for something to help just calm my mind, you know, just get myself to be more stretched. I have a dancing background, and that just seemed appealing to me. So I started at home with a video practice. I just went to the store at the time when they had VHS tapes, and I bought my VHS tape and did my practice at home.
Popped it in the TV. Yeah.
And my girlfriend at the time was also getting into yoga, and she was going to a yoga studio, Baptiste Power Yoga, actually, right in Boston.
Okay, great.
So she invited me, and I went along with her, and it was amazing. I just knew when I left that studio that I needed to have more of it in my life, and that's just how I got started, and I kept going back.
Well, okay, so that probably encapsulates an experience that other people might, I can say for myself too, I kind of share some of the elements of that. So I think one of the things that can be confusing for people is when they look at a schedule, there are so many different kinds of classes that they can go to. So if you're brand new, what are some of the things that you should look for in a class?
I recommend for brand new students to try to go into an intro class or a basics class because it's a little slower paced and it's geared towards teaching the sequence and breaking it down a little bit more slowly.
Okay.
although we do offer all level classes, and a lot of yoga studios do as well. So all levels encompasses from beginners all the way up to more experienced. So if you can't make it to a basics class due to your schedule,
Right.
you can do an all levels class, and the teacher will give you a little bit more pointers throughout the class just because they are aware that there are newer students in the class.
Now, should you say something to the teacher if you've never been to a class before?
Yeah, I would, just to introduce yourself to the teacher, like who you are, it's my first time, and that way they can even ask you if you have any injuries and just kind of gear the practice a little bit more with that in mind.
Right.
Especially if they are teaching something, they can say, and if you have this, or if you're newer, try this.
Sure.
So it's making it a better experience for you and for them and for everybody around you.
And I know in my own experiences as a yoga teacher, sometimes when you come into the room for the first time, you get really nervous and you just kind of throw your mat down. What do you suggest for people who have never been into a studio where they put themselves?
I recommend the center of the room.
Okay.
So when you're practicing, you're starting to flow, you have a 360 view of the room.
Okay.
So when you're in down dog, you see the students in the back. When you're
Okay.
looking forward, you have students in front of you. And when we're twisting side to side, there's people to the right and left. So I like to recommend the center of the room.
Okay, that's a good tip, because I know a lot of times when I'll teach, I can just kind of tell the folks right in the front row are
Yeah.
brand new. They don't have props, they look a little unsure, and that sometimes can be the tendency, put something down right away. So
Yes.
more in the center.
More in the
is what you
center.
prefer.
I
Good,
think
that's a good
it's
tip.
been working well many years. So
Okay.
I think it's a good spot for newer people.
Now, the type of yoga you teach, Baptiste Power Flow, is heated yoga. So
Yes.
talk a little bit about that for someone who's never been in a hot yoga class.
Well, the elements are definitely warm,
Yeah.
and there's humidity, so you can breathe easily. You can feel your body warm up easily. Your muscles tend to, get warmer more quickly.
Right.
It's just a matter of knowing that you're going to be sweating a little bit more.
Okay, so what you need to
know.
be wearing for this? Like, do you go out and buy all these expensive yoga clothes
No.
before you head on in there for the first
What
time?
I suggest for anyone, the clothing that they use is breathable.
Okay.
And more fitted. Cotton t-shirts tend to get really, really soaked, and then you're
Okay,
dealing
not a
with
good
that. No, it's not good. And the loose clothing as you're in down dog can fall forward, and it's just uncomfortable. So it's something a little bit more fitted
Okay.
to the body, and that breathes well.
All right. Now, one of the things that I always hear from people who have never gone to yoga before is, I'm just not flexible enough. So what's your comment to that?
Yeah, well, to me, I say to them, well, then you should really go, to help improve range of motion. Not to say that you're going to be this, super flexible yogi, and that's really not the goal, but it'll just help open your body up even more. So I suggest, going and telling the teacher that you're newer, and that way they can give you props to work within your practice. So if you can't quite reach the floor with your hands, they'll give you some blocks, and we work with students like that.
What about people? I know sometimes people say, I'm afraid everyone's going to be looking at me. They'll know I'm brand new and I'm going
Yeah.
to feel silly. What do you think about that?
I can understand.
Yeah.
You're in a room where you think everybody knows what they're doing.
Right.
Even experienced yogis. But it's just really about, after the first 5 minutes, they'll let go of that, because they'll be so concentrated and focused on what they're doing and what the teacher is saying that they
Right.
really tend to lose that thought of like feeling silly or feeling uncomfortable.
And is anybody really watching anybody else, or are they
No.
kind of in their own
They
experience?
really are. They really are into their own practice and breathing. And I feel like people go to yoga just to let go and just to be connected to themselves, and they're not really watching anything else that's going on.
What about if people feel they're not spiritual enough, whatever that word means to them?
Right. You don't have to be.
Okay. Can be
You
just
know,
exercise. You're
you could-
going to.
Yeah, I know a lot of people. I mean, that's how I started. I went in, a lot for the physicalness of it too. I love being challenged. Again, from a dancing background, I just
Yeah.
wanted something to, help me feel that stretch I got from dance and that connection to my body. And so the whole spiritual side of it was never even in my mind.
Yeah, at the start.
At
Yeah.
the start.
Yeah.
And if it comes through, like as you're practicing more and more, it's great. And if it doesn't mean that you're, not doing it right or not getting the right experience out of it.
Great. Great. Well, thank you so much for joining
Thank
us,
you.
Paula. It's been great to have you on the show.
Same here.
And coming up next in our Techno Wellness segment, we're going to talk about an application that helps people communicate who can't speak on their own. Stay tuned.
This is the moment I knew. His future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Hi, and welcome back. In our Techno Wellness segments, I like to share with you innovations in technology and healthcare. And in today's segment, we're going to be talking about an application called Verbal Care. Verbal Care was created by Nick Doherty, and Nick is a graduate of Boston University's College of Engineering. And Nick and two of his classmates, as part of their senior project, developed a communications application that became Verbal Care. Verbal Care was recently acquired by Medical Specialties Distributors in Stoughton, and Nick has been focused on continuing to build the company's vision and services as part of the offerings of MSD. Let's take a look at how it works.
As a patient, have you ever experienced difficulties when trying to communicate with your care team? As a caregiver, have you ever felt stressed by a lack of instant knowledge of what is affecting your patients? At Verbal Care, we want to dissemble communicative obstacles and alleviate concern by creating a fluid communication path through our new patient and messenger apps. Meet Paul. He is a patient who experiences difficulties in speaking and communicating. When Paul has a strong headache, he can go to the patient app, simply tap on "I feel pain in my head," and send the message to a caregiver or family member who will instantly receive it in the messenger app and be able to reply back and assist him right away. Paul can also write custom texts, send quick phrases, or add favorites. With Verbal Care, patient, and messenger apps, communication is taken to a different level and made easy for everyone. Download our apps today from the App Store.
Welcome to the show, Nick.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. Well, let's dive right in. I think before we get into the application itself, can you tell us what inspired you to create this?
So, I mean, part of it was by accident, or I wouldn't say by accident. We had how the senior design program works at Boston University is that you choose from a list of projects. And one of the projects that really stood out to me was to design an iPad application for stroke patients in the ICU. Okay. So the first thing that we did is we got on the phone, we called up one of the best hospitals in the world, and we asked if we could come in and shadow their nurses. And they agreed, they let us in, and really from those initial interactions, it exposed us to really what the challenges were in delivering care to people who are nonverbal, and what it's like to be a person who's nonverbal and to be a family member. And we really tried to understand sort of the impact to the ecosystem of having sort of poor communication tools. And from that and those initial experiences, it sort of led us down a path to where we are today in trying to help all patients to communicate.
Great, very cool. So why don't you show me how it works?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So what we did here when we designed this application is we really wanted to make it simple for people of any ability. And the way that we're able to accomplish this is by having really easy to use picture-based icons. Okay. So these help the patient or the person be able to build a sentence. So let's say I had too much to eat, right, and I had way too many hamburgers, and I should eat more grass-fed things. So I'll say, sick. I feel sick in my stomach. And once I've built my sentence, I can send this to either my care team or I can send it to my family.
How are you? Oh, like a text message?
So it's exactly like that. Okay. So what I do is I pair up with my caregiver or I pair up with my care provider, okay, and they receive my messages directly. So once I send that off, it goes right to their smartphone and they can communicate back and forth with me. Cool. But if I'm nonverbal and I want to have a face-to-face conversation, I can also use it this way. I feel sick in my stomach. And be able to speak out loud with that person. Okay. So what's cool about it is that it's fully customizable. So if I say, I feel sick in my stomach, I can also add more to the sentence. Okay. And so I could say something like, because
I ate too many hamburgers.
Exactly. So okay, I can build another sentence and I can send that out as well.
Got it.
So we've tried to make it really, really easy for the patient to be able to communicate wherever they are to whomever is going to help get them better.
Very neat. Now, in what kinds of settings? I mean, obviously hospitals, but are there other settings where it's being used?
Yeah, what's been exciting, so we launched a beta version of the product in June. We have about 300 people that are on it right now. And what we found is that people are using it in hospitals, they're using it in their homes, and they're establishing this communication, this dialogue, really wherever people are. It's not just patients. We're trying to help them feel more like people, get them reconnected, and start to live their lives a little bit more enriched. So the two solutions that come default with the app, they're built for an ICU. So they are sort of the most useful within an ICU.
Okay.
The update that's coming by the end of this year, 2015, that will have the full customization capability, and you can really start to bring it wherever you are.
Now, how would someone, if they're not in a hospital and the caregivers don't know about it, how would they get access to this?
So I had firsthand opportunity to be able to do this. So I broke my ankle in June.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I broke my ankle the night of the day that we launched the beta. So it was really crazy coincidence.
Dramatic.
And I needed to get a plate and 7 pins put in. So what I did was I went into the hospital for my surgery, and I had my nurses paired with me. So when I came out and I wanted something to drink, I said I would like to drink ginger ale, and the nurse arrives. She's already got the ginger ale in hand. I was able to ask to go to the bathroom. I had a breathing tube pulled out. So I didn't really want to talk. I had a really sore throat. And it was a fantastic experience. And I found that the nurses were really receptive to having me pair with them and be able to have that kind of conversation.
And that was while you were in the hospital?
That's while I was in the hospital.
Okay.
That's right.
So if someone is at home and they have a condition where they can't speak or they want to take advantage of this app, can they download it?
Of course, yeah. So you go to our website, verbal.care, and we have a link that allows people to be able to download the application. You can also go to verbalcare.com. It's the same website. And we'll have the links. Right now, it's only available on iOS. So for the patient app, it's a tablet, so the iPad. And for the Messenger app, works on your iPhone or an iPad. But we look to bring it to Android soon.
That's great. That's great. What's like the most exciting thing about what you are doing here for yourself?
I mean, for me, what's great is that we have some really tangible pieces of value that we can deliver to these patients and these people. I think being able to give someone a voice again is really enriching to what we do on an everyday basis. But then on sort of a grander macroscopic level, we think that patient empowerment and patient access is really important.
Yeah.
And what's cool about Verbal Care, it's their account. They own it. And then they choose to pair with the provider. And right now, most systems, the provider says, here's what you use, this is how I want you to connect with me, and they don't talk with other systems. So what's cool about Verbal Care is it puts the control in the patient's hand, and we really want to give these patients a voice. And I think that is more than just helping people who can't speak, it's helping all patients.
That's great. That's a wonderful mission with a great feel to it. So wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing this with us.
Thank you, it's great to be here.
Thanks. Stay tuned. We're going to wrap up the show after this.
May I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
That's our show for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'd like to thank all my guests again for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments or thoughts about the show, please share them on Twitter using the hashtag LivingWellBNN. You can also catch the show on my YouTube channel, Bare Bones Yoga, and if you'd like to come to one of my yoga classes, please check out my schedule on my website, barebonesyoga.com. Between now and our next show, live well.